Previously on the Extinction Agenda.
I felt like this was the most coherent we've seen Doug Moench, and I'm really amazed by it because it's like he just held himself together for like 6 issues.
And now, the thrilling continuation.
I think the honorable thing for our species to do is deny our programming. Stop reproducing. Walk hand in hand into extinction. One last midnight, brothers and sisters opting out of a raw deal.
Do not trust any friends or family members. I repeat, do not.
Wow, there's a lot more dog movies out there than I thought. 100 best dog movies ever made.
Of course, yeah, people love dogs, so like dog movies. I bet there's less cat movies out there.
All dogs go to heaven?
You can't film cats. Dogs, they're obedient. You can get them to go like do a thing. All dogs go to heaven.
The worst. White Fang. Oh, Balto's right in here. Yeah.
Okay. Represent Balto.
Lassie, Lady and the Tramp, Snow Dogs. I mean,
Lassie.
He's Beethoven.
Yeah, I said Beethoven.
Marmaduke. Scooby-Doo counts?
Does the giant Clifford dog count?
No, that's dubious.
That's
maybe.
Oh, man.
He has got a film, though.
Balto gets 7.1 out of 10. I gotta maybe watch Balto. I don't.
Hachi is 8.1.
Ooh, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's Hachi. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Because I heard some dudes talking about it, and they were like, they were talking about it in serious tones. It's like, okay, guess that's a dog movie that people find to be serious.
No transition here at all.
Oh, that's fine. We don't need to worry about that here on the Extinction Agenda with James
and Chris,
the man on the internet most likely to take a woman to a back alley for dinner. Today on the Extinction Agenda, we're talking Batman again. We're doing Masterpiece Theater. Detective Comics starring Batman 557 to 55. We only did 4 issues, but it felt like a lifetime, and not in a bad way, but it just felt like a lot happened. 557 to 558, and then Batman itself 391 to 392, and these issues were from December 1985 to it ends up going to February 1986. 1985 to 1986. The detective issues are illustrated by Gene Colan with Bob Smith, lettered by John Workman. Adrian Roy does the coloring. Batman itself is illustrated by Tom Mandrake. He does the pencils and the inks on the first one, but then has an inker on the second one because I guess they were running behind or some shit. But generally, Tom Mandrake's doing the whole shebang here. John Costanza's doing the lettering, and Adrian Roy's coloring. And we are finally figuring out how this beautiful love story comes to an end, or at least this portion of the beautiful love story. How'd you guys feel about our latest installment of Masterpiece Theater?
Oh boy! Well, this one was really good. It was just sort of chopped into a few different parts. But I think Robin showed some not only chops but hardcore solo work here.
Okay, yeah, we got some good Robin on here.
Just at the beginning, because he goes and takes on the kind of the Night Stalker on his own against orders and against better judgment. Fatigued also.
Yeah, because they've been through the ringer, and like one thing I like about these comics is that you commented on this in the first issue, that detective issue. We get like a 2-page spread that just like, here's the story up till now, and you're like, wow, this story's insane.
Well, it also is like funny that like such an elaborate first chunk of the book could be deconstructed into that was page 134 and 135. It just like ripped back into that just like summary of like madness. and it's just like a point form, like she lands on the giant telescope, like all the clutch points that sort of happened that led the plot to where you are now. And it's great as a reader, but is embarrassingly bad to break the story down to that. I found it made me think that the previous chunk of story was kind of laughable after this.
Well, I think it's just like, he shows the spine of the story. Here's the things that you need to know, and then but the rest of it is the indefinable je ne sais quoi that only Doug Moench can bring to the affair. Chris, how'd you feel about these?
That is so hard to put words on, but it is very soap operatic, surprisingly. Like it is a romance comic, essentially, at least in this 5 chunks. And that's something to get Doug Moench doing romance comics. I don't hate them. I don't know what exactly to say about them, but there's it's like it almost anticipates better comics to come. That's I guess the thing I can say about it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. All right, so here's what I like about these. Okay, so this is all taking place during Crisis on Infinite Earths, and it started in the previous issues. The reason this collection, this DC Finest Batman Red Skies, is called Red Skies is because that was the name of any crossover in Crisis on Infinite Earths was referred to as a Red Skies crossover. And I think I probably mentioned this last time, but maybe I didn't. And because certain writers and artists, they had to cross over with Crisis on Infinite Earths, but they didn't really want to. And so all they did in those instances was just make the sky red and have ominous stuff happening in the background, and then just told their regular story anyway. And so it's kind of like a term amongst aficionados for classifying certain types of subtype in the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover genre, I guess. You've got a Red Skies issue, which just means it's just happening for no good reason, and that's kind of what's happening. It's definitely what's happening here, but I think at the same time still, Moench is using it to pretty good effect, but it does bring a level of it brings this absurd apocalypticism to the romance story that we're seeing, and these incredible stakes that if you got rid of this ambient background of literally the sky raining blood, I don't know what this story is. It's really dumb, but with these red skies and the raining blood, I'm like, God, I love this. This is so amazing. And not to get too down, but the first page of 557, unfortunately, I found myself thinking even about the climate crisis that we're currently facing. And, there's the people, they're worried, right? And since there's no conceivable course of action, people will simply go on hoping it will pass and shivering with secret fears of what might follow, right? And I'm like, I can that resonates a little too much. And so, yeah, maybe it's the time that we're living in right now that, and the particular thoughts I'm having that makes this shit come to life. But nonetheless, there it is. But then you get all that highfalutin stuff, and then Batman's just he's just arguing with that doctor who won't give it to him straight, and he has to threaten to beat him.
He has to rough him up.
I'm sorry I roughed you up. That's the only.
The quick apology is so good. It's my fault, not yours.
Yep.
Not good at dealing without having a course of action.
The doctor's like, I see this all the time. People are grieving.
I like that. Even in that, there's a little moment where the doctor, basically, he's like, you're a mythic figure to me. I see your work all the time. People come in and they're beat to hell, and I just need to know, are you actually do you have emotions like a man?
Mm-hmm. Do you love her? You're like, I don't know why that's important, but yeah, nonetheless.
Yeah, it's funny. This Batman character is we talked about this in the last arc, but he's unlike the Batman that's like normally sort of trot out in front of us. Also, because he even has that this. I'm sorry, I'm jumping way ahead, but when he's
That's
in
fine.
the woods with Catwoman, then they save that woman from being raped. And Catwoman has to like comfort her, and then gives her the RoboCop speech while she loads her into a cab. Seek out the local rape counselors from the police station. They'll help you along the way.
Yeah.
Loads her into a cab. Thank you for everything. It was just so close. And Batman's like, I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, what? Guess it's my grim demure. Or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's hilarious that he has that sort of put on like that attitude, or that he's he's presenting himself with as I mean, it's so funny because he's wearing the gray and blue suit, which is not particularly nightmarish. It's more Adam West-ish. But he himself is grim dark, right? He's like, I present myself that way to the scum of the city, you know, and that is very Batman like, but it's funny that he, like, you wouldn't think that he would have that divide or not be able to help a victim, and it's just a funny scene.
Yeah, no, it stood out.
Right after, like, when they beat the hell out of those two guys, the rapists, and the woman's like freaking out. She's like, yeah, they were gonna, and Batman says like they were gonna fall eventually, and like that's nothing. Yeah, that's not a comforting thing to say. That's like not addressing the root of the trauma. So yeah, there's like he's completely ineffectual in that post, like the sort of like the human element of that moment.
I think he's ineffectual in almost every single way in these stories.
That's true.
He's like, and yeah, getting to your point, James, like the grimdark thing, he, like, just to reiterate, he threatened to beat a doctor. That's because the doctor wasn't giving him a straight answer. He's like, and then when he's waiting at the bedside with Selena, and he's like, he's really disassociating, like literally, like listen to this. Was that really him facing her on those many high rooftops, like two heated animals coming together in the night? Like he's like, even the way that the Gene Colan illustrates it, those concentric circles on page 137, where like he's traveling into his own mind, but he's also sort of observing, like separate from the things. Like it's like his own memories and his own experiences and his mission, like he's disassociated from those things. And I think that, like, James, that's a good, like, the rape victim thing is a good example of him. Like, he's already thinking about, like, let's say that she was victimized. For him, like, that victimization is neither here nor there, because he's going to get the bad guys regardless. And he wanted to sort of express that to her. Right? They would have fallen at any rate.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's absurd. Yeah. That's fucking sociopathic. You're fucked, dude.
Well, yeah, there's even a little moment where he's sitting beside Selena's bedside and he's like, if you die, if you leave me, everything beyond these walls, everything outside can go straight to, and she wakes up. And he's like, he's going to go out there and just beat the shit out of everybody or whatever. He's gonna fucking personally end crime. It's just everything can go fucking straight to hell. He'll deal with it. But he's just like you say, he's more emotionally caught up in his like grimdark dream theater than he is like the reality is around him. And it's a weird way to showcase the character, and it's a lot of fun.
It's so much fun. I love these comics. It's
a real, just a little, like, when, like, in the aftermath of the fight with Night Stalker, like, it looks like Selena might have drowned or whatever. And I think I think page 167, I interpret this like Batman's like shaking his fist at the sky, and like Robin's encouraging him not to like give up. but
Yeah.
I think he's threatening God. Like, whatever you are up there, you won't win. Do you hear? I'll
Yes.
fight you with
Yeah.
every drop of my blood.
Yeah.
And then like she's okay, so like he snaps out of it. But like, yeah, he's going to war with heaven.
Well, it's the red skies that he's yelling at, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
But that it's the same thing, right? Like the apocalypse has arrived. And he is yelling literally at the at the heavens. But yeah, he's caught up in it. Nocturna's caught up in this thing too. Like she's studying the heavens, studies the night, and she's gone full on nihilistic. Like not just that, like suicidal, because she's decided that perhaps fairly that the world is coming to an end. And that the night at the very least is coming to an end, and so she submits herself to the Night Slayer.
Literally.
Yeah. What a fucking Christ!
They even address it directly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just looking at that.
Wanna
The
study the
butcher
night?
in search of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then finish the job.
The Night Slayer is such a weird character. So it's neither here nor there, but I've been reading all the issues of Doug Moench's Batman up until this point. I have not caught up. I haven't caught up fully yet because there's quite a few of them. But I am learning about Nocturna, like the early appearances of Nocturna and the person who's going to become the Night Slayer. It doesn't really matter where all this stuff comes from. What we're presented with is like he's almost like the Terminator or something. He's this he's almost mystical. I think it's not just almost like he's almost like he's totally mystical. He's the Night Slayer, right? At this time in which the night is dying. And so he becomes this personification of all these like bad forces that are at work in Gotham. And they can barely rein him in, but it doesn't make any sense because they should be able to rein this guy in.
Because he's just a guy with a knife.
Yeah, he's like a pervert with a knife, and he seemingly has like. I know, obviously, you don't really address that in these kind of like thriller fantasy comics, but like he shouldn't have any fucking resources or money to go and do this and stay in this kind of physical condition. Go out and just like butcher people on the street. His hands would be fucked up from the bajillions of stabbing victims. Why is he able to fight off like martial arts experts? And he's just like a dude with a mustache that like 4 cops couldn't pin down at one point. And also that Batman dispatched with a single karate chop later on in the book.
Completely disrespected him, kicked his ass like right into a jail. So, like literally, like.
Yeah, then he just puts him down like Lieutenant Commander Data style, just like a one shot to the neck. That's it. Go to sleep.
Well, by that time the dude's done, right? So
I guess maybe he's running on pure adrenaline to stab a random woman in the heart.
Yeah, he does that. Like he hits him in the neck and like chat, and then he gives him gets a kick after that. He gets a chop kick. So that's not nothing. And the guy's still not done. At that point, he's still rearing to go. But I wouldn't hand him over to the cops. Like that's a funny thing about these old comics where they take like Dr. Octopus and they hand him to the police. You're like, what are they going to do with him? Right? It's absurd.
Yeah. Batman's bleeding all over the place, and like and then he just kind of like chides the police officer. Oh, gentlemen, you're a bit too slow to get him into a cell. It's like, fuck, this guy's unstoppable.
You just showed up out of nowhere, Batman, and it's been like a minute. We didn't even understand what was happening. I didn't even tie him up. It's kind of negligence on Batman's part.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, Nocturna doesn't. I like the bullshittery of all of this too. To have like Nocturna's body disappear as well.
Yeah,
the air balloon. sometimes you're just shaking your head too. Like, where'd that helicopter come from? Why did it crash? Why did the entire observatory fall off a cliff? Why was there?
Why is it on a
balloon?
cliff?
Yeah, who? Like, the hot air balloon's fully functional, and Robin just sends her away, and she disappears in the hot air balloon. It's a lot. A lot to take in. But like, you're so caught up in the drama of the fight, because like say he did enough of a job making the Night Slayer an actual dangerous concern that could murder characters, that you're like, oh, I wonder if he's gonna put Robin down, or I wonder if he's gonna or if Catwoman's gonna be like, and none of the characters will disappear, but they can kill them and write them back in whatever later. But
yeah. What do we think about this Selena Kyle? I know we talked about her a bit last time, but we get a little bit more here of her this time.
I honestly like her. She's a woman of the world. She kind of knows what's up. She's able to, like, I don't know. She doesn't. She's pretty insightful about Batman, I think, and his motivations, and just that sort of sense that he's always pursuing what's dangerous to him and trying to reform it. We talked about this last time, but it's it does seem to be pretty accurate in terms of how he handles it. And then Batman's kind of snapping out of it. Like, he realizes that Nocturna does have this effect, and she's willing to use Tim Drake as a pawn, and just kind of that's what sort of zaps him out of it. I love that he's still so hung up on the thief thing. I can't love Nocturna because she's a thief, and talking to Catwoman. And then on the very next page, Robin does a smash and grab on a sports store and grabs a hang glider.
Shit. Okay, no, you.
The kid that he's saying who he has love for, who snaps him out.
Okay,
also a thief, Yeah.
You missed the headline on page 149. So the thing that you quoted. So it's I'm telling you, Selena, there's no doubt in my heart, my mind or heart, I do love you. And then so she's responded, maybe you do. I hope you do. Even pray you do. So this is her worldliness, but the law of heart, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you love 2 women, 3 or 4. You're a complex, many-sided man. It's so true. And he's like, no, I can't love someone who's a thief, no matter how mysterious and alluring. And he's and her response, she's rolling her eyes. She's like, all right, have it your way. Delude yourself. She constantly sees through him.
Yeah, that's not a man who can be trusted. He does not know himself.
Mm-mm.
It's true. She does have a command, like a command over herself and her environment and her relationship with Batman, which is neat, and it's refreshing because nobody very rarely do people write Batman like feminine relationships, except for maybe Frank Miller, but. Sorry, I guess a lot of people do.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah.
But I don't think that they're necessarily I don't know. This is thoughtful, and and I like her reaction to things. I like the Lady and the Tramp stuff. That was great.
Oh, the date.
It was a really good break from everything. Yeah, the funny date night where they just went and beat up crooks and shit the whole way along. We talked a little bit about that, the dancing. Hey, that's my coke dealer.
Yeah,
right.
Just beautiful work. And then the color washing they did when they went into the club, and I don't know, it's just a cool glimpse into I feel that this has a time and place, and that it's very time stamped. It's almost got the costumes are from a certain time period. So are the crooks, so are the mindsets, so are the dance clubs, so are the city life. So it's just sort of a neat glimpse into all of that as well. So that those breaks too, like if you can write a break with the goofy Italian flag in the background and still keep me like I still was suspended in disbelief and enjoyed myself. None of the art didn't break me. The coloring didn't break me. Yeah, I just had a good time, you know.
Guys, I felt very stereotyped in that moment. Hello, Tony.
Oh, you owe me a favor.
I love
me making the table out back.
Yeah.
Because well, first of all, she's the most beautiful and the best, which is to say the darkest way. It's like, so
yeah,
Tony.
Italian beauty standards.
Quiet.
And then
Don't queer the hustle, Tony.
You're like, are we actually doing Lady and the Tramp in the alley? Like this guy like pulls out I got some garbage spaghetti to give you guys. I had to throw it out anyway. Pulls out the tablecloth and like I at least he follows through with the illusion and calls it out directly, which saved the scene. But yeah,
that's funny too.
A lot. Yeah.
I believe Mr. Disney called it the Lady and the Tramp.
And then I love that a mobster just gets shot in the chest, and if goes face down in his pasta, like fucking.
Godfather.
It is. You may as well keep the Godfather theme going too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is funny how like every like 4 interruptions of these sorts of like the crime things, you know, like it's played out. Especially, I think the dance club is consciously ridiculous, even like down to like, if we can dance with these freaks and no one's gonna know that we're even us. And like, sure enough, that guy, the coke dealer, I can't hit a lady, so I'm gonna jab you with my razor sharp medallion in the face. And Batman's like, don't be stupid. And he's like, the guy just assumes he's dressed in costume, you know, like it's sort of like can't be the real Batman.
Mm-hmm. Don't be a fool. This costume is real. Nice try, hero, but I don't. Sponge. That's the end of him.
Yeah, he didn't have much.
Poor Franco.
Yeah, man. Franco's my coke connection, man.
Oh, actually, you know what, man? Franco gets up. I don't know what kind of coke Franco's on, because he just rips a rail off of like a bar off of a railing, just snaps it off and like comes at Batman. Fat lot of good it does him though.
No, because
I gotta say this:
all 4 guys through a window.
Yeah, it's true.
Which there's good precedent for movement-wise, actually. Anyway.
Yeah. The fight scene looks pretty good, actually. Doug Mensch, underrated sound effect guy. I love the way he does.
Bresh, boom, bram, toop,
punch, reach, breaking glass.
All good stuff. Slight anomaly. Issue 392, for whatever reason, has a different Batman logo than all of the other Batman issues. I was like, oh, they're transitioning to a new logo, and I was like, no, they're not. But they will transition to that logo when Frank Miller comes in. So it's like they started to transition. They're like, no, we're not ready yet. We'll do it like a year from now. It's like someone didn't get the memo or some shit.
That's weird.
Yeah. I always keep my eye
on. This
one
opens in a very strange way too, and like this kind of goes to the like Batman being completely ineffectual and not knowing who he is. But the like he is in an alley. They've somehow survived the apocalypse. Whatever. Like the crisis is over, and he's surrounded by 3 thugs. One of them who just has a hockey stick, and he's basically afraid of them. Like he's like a problematic contact, exploding planets or gash face and crushed skull. But he's quite prepared to take a beating for this, and he even tries to reason. Like they're all drunk, and he's like, "Don't suppose I could convince you to go home and sleep it off." He needs Catwoman as backup for this just random jobber thugs.
Oh, you think he's afraid of them? I don't think so. I think he's trying to give him the way out. You know, he's giving them a chance to just not get the shit kicked out of them.
Why is he worrying about a gashed face and crushed skull? Batman is that thought never crosses his mind when it's like a.
Oh no, he's the one gashing their face and crushing their skull.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. I can see how you read it the way you read it. Explode. Okay, well, you're. Oh no, I take it. You're right. I think so because otherwise, like the exploding planets is bad. It's something that happens to him, gash faced and crushed skull. I don't know. The danger is still there. I mean, you always have to be respectful of your opponent, I suppose. I don't think he's afraid though. Never say that about Batman, Chris. If he was afraid, he wouldn't be the goddamn Batman.
I'll say it what Doug mentions Batman any day.
Okay. Afraid.
Yeah, come on. What did we get here? 3 drunks, 1 hitman, 2 muggers, 3 cokehead swingers. Not sure what that means. And 1 armed robber. Total of 10.
Nice. And I like that. So we got Bullock going on in the background. Just the entire time smashing. Like, I guess he's still talking about all the other stuff that's happened. No, he's just like trying to talk. He's talking to the audience, I guess, to remind us that, because this might be someone's first comic. So we need to know that she's used to be a criminal, blah, 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 and that there's some sort of moral bits here. And he's just destroying the office the whole time. And it's a stupid joke, but it comes off pretty well when we see what Commissioner Gordon's been writing in his notebook.
Yeah, I like it.
At least she didn't destroy my office.
You got the little like hangman game going with like Dent.
Yeah.
Or sorry, with Bullock, I mean.
Yeah. Have I convinced you? Oh, that you have, Bullock, in spades. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how even Bullock is like you're wavering. He's like, I guess the effect of the prison system doesn't usually rehabilitate people, but you still got to get her.
Yeah. Catwoman's super horny, and this gets to Batman's lack of. It's weird because he's a very good sort of dad with Robin, kinda. He's a little negligent in these issues. But generally, like like we said in the last time, like he's pretty emotionally open. Like, yeah, if you love Bullock, just say it. I love the guy too. So amongst men in a homosocial environment, like he's functional, but amongst women, like he's just drawn, like like the whole thing, like the strange love, this dark and dangerous thing that Doug's pointing to, like all that. All of his other, like he doesn't have any skills beyond that homosocial environment, but he's horny. He just, like he's super horny, but
you almost wonder about, sorry, I was thinking of Frank Miller's gag later in the Jim Lee book that he does.
Oh, it's better with the masks on. Yeah.
Where he just drops trow and bangs on a rooftop. This Batman feels like that.
That is like that.
Like he'll just drop trow and bang one of these girls out in the woods.
Yeah. And then go on to just so like that level of dark perversion is at the edges of this comic, and Moench is fully aware of that, but he knows he can't go full dark pervert. But he wants to titillate in the same way that like a Chris Claremont wants to titillate, and he's more than happy to do so, and also like comment upon it, like that security guard who's gone obsessed and fucked up, like everybody, all the bad things that happened in this story, well, except for the date thing, right, are perversions of desire, like the libido and that kind of thing. People wanting something that they don't have on a very basic level. And that one guy, like he just fucking commits suicide, and Bullock's got to go and tell the wife.
That's so wild. The especially like the
I forgot about that guy.
The substance of his dilemma is like he just starts getting into all this shit like on the roof about his wife, like it was good for a while, but after a time, like I'm just going through the motions. Batman's like, buddy, like that's not an uncommon thing for men of your age. Like you're having a midlife crisis, bud.
It's been happening to me too, right? I've been there too. Don't do it, Marge. Don't do what, Batman? Check out before you whenever. And so, like, I guess this is also in the backdrop of this melodramatic apocalypticism.
Yeah.
With
And
blood
the
rain,
melodramatic-
blood snow coming down.
It just struck me that it's a bit of a contrast to like Batman's relationship, like, and his angle on, because like like literally the guy says we were safe and slowly dying together. So that's like that's the vision from inside of a stable marriage.
Yeah.
And like what happens when the danger's gone, you know?
Yeah. And that's what Batman's like. He's like, I'm not attracted to that. I mean, I'm a young man. I want the dangerous thing. There's a lot of like, like what makes this comic good is that Doug is exploring like you said this last time, James, like it's like a psychodrama. It's like we're inside Batman's head and we're seeing personifications of all his emotional states kind of going crazy. And Marsh is representative of Batman's fear of stability and like, settling down and shit like that. And even with Robin, so Robin comes in and he's, I'm afraid. And Batman's like, you have every right to be afraid. Like, this is the quote unquote good dad thing, right? But you have every right to be afraid, but if there's any way I can, I'll protect you. And if I can't, I'll be with you right up to the end. Right. Which is fucking, that's a thing. But then by the end of the issue, Robin's projected that same sort of fatherly emotion upon Nocturna, and he gives the exact same speech. He's trying to like replace the father, so to speak, in that moment. And before the Night Slayer fucking backstabs him. So yeah, it's a heady sort of Freudian stew. There's a lot of psychology at play here, which makes it fun. You don't usually. That's another thing you tend not to get in comics nowadays. It's all very much plot. Like you think of Scott Snyder's Batman. You're not getting any psychology of Batman. You're not getting anything like any sort of metaphor. You're like, there's nothing. It's just all what you see is what you get, and what you get is metal. It's fan service with a metal sheen, like a heavy metal sheen. Doug doesn't play that way, man. Doug's pure.
That's true. That's a funny way to look at it. And it's true because, and I think maybe that's like when I was like chopping away at trying to describe this Batman earlier, is that the Batman you get now is just like everyone knows the Batman. The Batman's like this,
Mm-hmm.
So then you just tell a story around the Batman because everyone knows what the Batman's like. And then like you get no character development because then no psychology because no one's writing that part. You're just assuming, or thinking about the Batman the way you might, which is a weird thing to say also, but I don't know.
There's two things at fault in this. The first one is Frank Miller, and the second one is Grant Morrison. Because Morrison takes the Batman and like if creates the Bat God, and the Bat God cannot be emotionally unstable. The Bat God the Bat God knows themselves. They're in control of every circumstance. They don't fall hopelessly in love with someone they might pretend to for the sake of like some sort of ruse or something like that. But yeah, like, and I like honestly, I do find that more appealing from like a nerd standpoint. I'm like, well, how would the best martial artists in the world not know themselves? That's fucking ridiculous. But it's a trap, right? Like only certain people can operate in that mode. And then you're kind of left with just plot afterwards, right? And what we're seeing with Doug is like the plot can be recapitulated in a 2-page spread, and it looks ridiculous, but the plot is not the point. All the words and the emotional drama that happen around this like really paltry skeleton of events, like just absurd skeleton of events, is the point.
Yeah, but that's all true, but it's not like this is like a good or worthy examination of the psychology. I mean, to some extent, you're getting interesting fragments. But it's melodrama. It's like it's over the top always, which you can. I've enjoyed swimming in those waters, but
what could you really get out of Batman though? Like either you like the reason people go the Bat God route is because they're like it's you don't want to wallow in the stupidity of the circumstances that you're faced with. But really, he's just a guy that wears a costume and like talks to the commissioner, and like it's such a fundamentally stupid circumstance that like what else are you gonna do?
Well, that's I guess, and if he's that fragmented, if he's that unhinged, and I think of like we looked at this last time a bit too, but this is sort of the material that informs Batman Forever, and there is that sort of sense of like Batman coming unhinged around Catwoman in that movie.
Batman Returns.
Yeah, sorry, Batman Returns. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
In that, there it's done kind of interestingly, but I think overall it's just sad. Like if he doesn't know who he is, then it's just sad. Like he's just a guy having a midlife crisis in a suit, and that's a dead end.
That's fair, but it's on the one hand, yes. On the other hand, no, because a new issue will be out next week, right? And none of it matters. And it just becomes sort of a joke. But like, this vibe. But like I like this Batman. On the other hand, like I like reading these adventures, but this isn't my Batman. Like these adventures might have not. Outside of they do add some sort of extra levels to. They do add a level to Tom King's run on Batman, which focuses heavily on the Batman Catwoman romance and relationship. So some of the things I was like, oh, okay, this is Tom Kingy going on here, but again, Tom plays the Batman pretty straight in that space. Like he's not lost in any way. He loves Selena Kyle, and he's resisted dealing with her because she's a dangerous criminal, right? But
it's an interesting contrast to this is the Incredible Hulk of this era. The sort of like psychological,
the Peter David thing.
Yeah. Like in the sort of like the way that he delves into, just the psychic themes. But I don't think you could do that with Batman. There's not a lot of room for the mysticism or like symbol or things like that. Whereas for some reason, I guess the sort of like the Jekyll and Hyde nature of Hulk.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
And like it's just like it is a supernatural act to turn into a giant green creature that is stronger than them all. Fueled by anger. That's a little different than a guy who saw his parents
in there.
Yeah. But it is in keeping, like, I think this version of Batman is in keeping with the thought that he is a billionaire with a strong motivation, like a strong drive to address the world's evils in a really ham-fisted manner in the way that pure billionaires tend to want to, who just saw his parents killed, right? So like he's ruined. And his solution to that is the worst thing ever. To just like, I'm just going to dress like a maniac and beat up coke dealers at a club while I'm dancing with my girlfriend.
Man, maybe that should be my Batman. My heart doesn't want it, but maybe that's
I'm being wooed into it being my Batman. Definitely.
I think so. I think after we're done this collection, this is our Batman.
This is going to be the Batman I throw back to all the time.
Oh, all right. Do we have anything else on this?
No, I think that's where to end it.
All right, good enough. Next, okay, so we're going into December. It's Weird War December, and so we're going to be reading Weird War. What I think it's Weird War Special. I don't have the date on it. Sorry, folks. But it's so there was a Weird War miniseries that was it wasn't a Vertigo book exactly, but it was I think it was Alex Alonso at DC, and he was working for Vertigo, so it was probably a Vertigo book. And they did 4 issues and whatever, but then for whatever reason, like a couple months later, they did a special. And so we're just going to look at the special because it's a smorgasbord of top names, including Garth Ennis and Chuck Dixon. So what could be better?
Nothing.
And yeah, see you then.
Well, actually, the first time I did Batman was when I went from Marvel to DC, I guess, in 1982. And one of the things I wanted to do was, they say coincidentally, I don't know, was basically Nightfall. I wanted to answer the Marvel reader critics who kept wanting Batman to be darker and grittier like the Punisher, right? And my feeling was, yeah, you think you want Batman to be a mean, kick-ass rat bastard as opposed to just a kick-ass, you know. But you really don't want to see Batman that way, even if you love Punisher. And what I wanted to do was bring in a new guy, because Batman gets hurt and he can't serve anymore, and some new guy's got to be Batman for a while. And then show you what a nasty rat bastard Batman is like, and within 3 or 4 issues, you'll be screaming for the old Batman to come back. Anyway, I think Dick Giordano liked the idea, but Len Wein didn't, or vice versa. The 2 editors, the top editor and the editor of the Batman books. And I actually think they said maybe I could